Now, simply put, a credit score is a number that allows lenders know the likelihood in which they're going to be repaid in the event of them lending you money. And a personal credit score is built generally on a credit history. Thereby means you need a credit history to gain credit to be able to get a credit score when you don't have any credit. I know it's all a little confusing, but in this video I'm going to try to explain some ways in which you can build credit for people who don't have any credit, and ways in which you can build better credit for people who have not the best credit, and ways in which you can keep your credit score high. Today, I think the general rule of thumb is an 800 credit score is like the best you can get, especially here in Canada. But many lenders don't really consider an 800 when they're trying to end stuff out. There's a lot of other things that comes into play, like how much you currently owe, what your income is, and all those sort of stuff. We're not going to go too much into detail about that today. We're going to cover the basics. Those are things we can talk about in a different video. Starting off with people who have no credit at all, one of the things you're going to be concerned about is getting into the game. A credit score relies basically on your past payments, so no one would generally trust you with any prepayment opportunity if you have no history. One of the ways you can build that history is by taking out a credit card that is prepaid. And what that means is you usually put a deposit down to like a bank or a credit union and get a prepaid credit card. That's the first way you can start to build credit, because as you pay that prepaid credit card, now you have some sort of history that you're paying to, and you can also use that prepaid credit card for grocery shopping and Uber and any sort of transportation or purchases you want to do online. That serves usually as a credit card as well, up to the limit that you've prepaid on it. The second opportunity for people who have no credit is by simply taking out a phone plan, and as you keep paying your phone bill, you build a good history, you build credit. Always pay your phone bill on time. Don't go past the payment due date. Make sure everything is sort of buttoned out. That's the second thing. The other thing that will count is if put your name on some bills, maybe as light bill, water bill, whatever it is, because at this point now, with your name on the bill, you are building some credibility, some history within the system. That can also help to build a credit score. Fourth way would be if you're close to someone, either a spouse or family friend has a credit card, you can ask them to take out a secondary credit card, and you're going to be building on that as well. Now, in the second scenario, for people with completely bad credit, the first thing you want to concentrate on is what's killing your credit, what's holding it down. And for most people, that's usually bad debt or an overwhelming amount of debt that they have. So first of all, you want to start by looking at things you have in collections. If you have anything in collections, try to get a prepayment plan to pay that down, or a loan to take that out of collections to pay it down if you can get a loan. And if you can't get a loan, which I guess you probably won't be able to qualify at this time, just keep making those minimum payments as much as possible. Pay down your loan as frequently as possible to make sure everything in collections is paid off as quick as possible. If you don't have anything in collections but your credit score you feel is still pretty low, a good rule of thumb is to keep your credit limits below 75%. So go through everything you have, credit cards, lines of credits, whatever it is that you have as a revolving credit, and try to keep that below 75%. That usually would help to increase your credit score and give you better chances of getting a better credit score. If you have quite a lot of revolving credit, lines of credit, credit cards, multiple credit cards, I usually advise that you can speak to your financial institution, get a loan to consolidate all of these individual things into one. That way you have one payment at the end of the month, and you don't have too many revolving credit all around. That doesn't look too good for your entire credit portfolio, and that doesn't help you with monthly prepayments as well. If you just imagine you having $5,000 spread across 3-4 credit cards and they're all maxed out, you'd be struggling to make those minimum payments. If they all lump together, you'd have one minimum payment to make at the end of every month. You'd definitely be doing better by knocking that principal down, because you'd have one consolidated interest, which I'm guaranteeing would usually be lower than the interest across 4 or 5 different credit cards or revolving credit. So you will be paying that balance down a lot quicker. Outside all of this, another good way, if you do have quite a lot of debts or quite a lot of revolving credit that you owe on, you can start to look at creating a budget so that you know exactly what your expenses are every month, and try to mitigate some of those additional expenses that aren't ultimately necessary, so that you're paying down the debt as quickly as possible and getting things cleared up as quickly as possible. This would all help get that debt paid down, help your credit score better. And for people who are coming into the country, immigrants, new immigrants, the first segment will tie closely to them. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I want to say thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up, share it, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.